So that looks pretty cool. His charge attack is just as fucking... Ugh. Let's try this now. So that was 3 instances of particle generated. Let's try again, in case we fucked it up. It was 3 indeed. So that's bad. It's not 3 particles, it's 3 procs of particles. It does look like it's 4.5 average particles. All right, chat. It's time for the moment of truth. Ayato Q. Fischl Oz. Kazuha hold E. Q. Beidou Q. E. Ayato E. Well, I think we might need C6 Fischl. It's fun as fuck. It's definitely fun. There's some decent range, yeah. It doesn't really feel like I have to do anything either. I'm literally just standing there holding down mouse 1 and it's just happening. His burst animation is really long though, which is definitely a downside. But this is clearing faster than I think all of my other teams so far. It is important to note that this is a really good matchup for a team like this, right? So don't take this as a conclusion. So don't take this to mean that the team is great. The fact that it is functioning very well in its right situation is a very good sign, though. It's a very good sign. I'm very happy about this. If he didn't perform well here, he'd be a dog shit unit that doesn't deserve you considering polling for him. But since he is doing well, yeah, it's pretty solid. I'm happy about this. I'm liking it a lot. The TF frogs are definitely consistent enough. We proc Beidou nicely. That's the next thing we're gonna test. The only problem is I don't know if TF is actually the right move here. I think it might be because it can let you get shorter rotations, but I don't know if it is worth it. I'll have to check it out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we basically always get 16 attacks, it would look like. It would seem, sorry. We're getting 16 attacks consistently. We're getting a Beidou proc every 3 attacks, which is meh. His infusion actually lasts more like 7 seconds rather than 6 because of a hit lag. Let's test the Venti synergy. It's hitting. It's 100% hitting. Like, not even, no contest, 100% hitting, not even close. Let's just see how this feels. Ooh, how the fuck do we double swirl? I don't think we can. Unless we don't snapshot his burst. Also, let's give him this, just to make the testing a little bit easier. Okay, sure, that kind of works, I guess. Okay, yeah, I don't know about that one. I think the double swirl might just not be doable, actually. It's fine. I've seen worse. I don't know that I would say I'm happy with it. Let's do a slightly different setup. Let's do a slightly different setup, okay? Like this. 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 Okay. Seems doable. Obviously, we lose out on a lot of application uptime, but it's doable. Hello, beautiful people. This is post good night's sleep Zajef. I thought about Ayato Teams a little bit more, and I just wanted to basically just correct something that I think I mentioned yesterday. I talked about him not being all that good in Vape Teams, but after doing a little bit more testing, I realized that there was a specific Vape Team, this one, which actually allowed for decent setups. So if you start with Ayato's Burst, followed by Bennett's Burst, followed by Guoba, followed by Guoba Swirl, you end up with a double swirl. Then you can use this on the second rotation, and then you just start over. I messed up the global swirl there, but point being, I was struggling to find a rotation with a swirl on both Hydro and Pyro, which would have made Ayato Vape Teams pretty meh. But because of the Global Swirl tech, it is looking like it's actually a lot more doable than I thought. I'm still not a huge fan of Vape Teams with Kazuha, but it would appear that he can do pretty well with Sucrose. I'm still not entirely sure how it compares with a child national team, but I'm definitely liking it a lot. Yeah, that's basically just a team I wanted to update. Other than that, I haven't really changed my mind on his other teams. I think that with Tazer, he's pretty solid. I think he's got some decent soup teams. Him paired with Xingqiu with Bennett Kazuha, just like as a Hydro carry, also feels pretty good. And overall, just I don't know. I've been enjoying playing him a lot. So yeah, that's it for the post good night sleep Zajef intermission. See ya. So we've already tried this team, but when we tried it, it wasn't. It was with TF. Let's try it without TF and see if it's still like doable. Yeah, it's still doable without TF. Sounds like the dream is dead, chat. Damn it. God damn it, chat. The dream is fucking dead. Like, putting aside how good it is, it feels really good. I'm really happy I pulled for him. But honestly, I don't know if I think it's that good of a team. I kind of want to try something else. And this is gonna sound a little unhinged, but what if we just didn't play Beidou and Tazer? This might actually be a team where the TF is actually useful, but I don't know how reliable it is to proc it without C6 Fischl. Here's my thoughts so far. I like him a lot more on Tazer team than anything else. I haven't tried Soup yet though. Actually, you know what? We should try Soup before giving a conclusion to our thoughts. seem like Soup teams struggle with energy a little bit too much, which is generally Soup team's biggest problem when they run energy hungry units. Because you're running units of 4 different elements, you struggle with energy recharge. Which is why the only popular Soup teams are Sunfire Raiden, which uses Raiden, and Sucrose Ketchum, which is just a fucking way too dank team anyways. It's fine. I'd rather play Xingqiu, but this is definitely better than like Kokomi or Mona. So I don't mind it too much, because your Xingqiu might be busy on your other team. So Ganyu, does anyone in chat know if Ganyu gets 60 or 50 icicles from her burst? I don't remember. Is it 50 or 60? 50? Okay. So she gets icicles number 50, 36, I think. It might be 37. Cooldown 15, 20. This times this divided by this. So as you can see, Ganyu's burst does about 2 times more DPS than Ayato's burst. Because of that, I don't think that Ayato's burst is particularly worth building around, especially compared to a unit like Ganyu. I think most of the time you'll be using your burst for whatever the fuck you want, whether it's like a setup or a hydro uptime or whatever. My point with this is I don't think Ayato's burst is all that good, but that has 2 like ramifications. One, obviously, because the burst isn't as strong, like you don't really want to build around the burst that much, which is like the negative, right? But the positive is, let's quickly go over the concept of power budget. In a balanced game where not every unit does exactly the same thing, you'll generally have something that people in theory crafting terms call power budget. The power budget is basically like you have a certain amount of power that you can put into a character. You don't want to put too much power, you don't want to put too little power. Assuming you're trying to go for the result of a balanced character, if one of their aspects is weaker, it's going to mean that another aspect is stronger, and vice versa. What Ayato's burst being weak-ish means is that most of his power budget has been allocated towards his skill rather than towards his burst. If we look at an old comparison I did with his leaked numbers, it's not going to be exact, but we can look at more or less where his damage comes from. So it's about 18k from normal attacks versus about 6k from burst. So about 75% of his damage is coming from his normal attacks in his E form, which means if you fuck up your rotation, or if your rotation doesn't allow for you to burst every rotation, that's not actually the end of the world. Ideally, you would burst every rotation, but you don't get punished too much not doing so, which is a really fucking good thing for casual players. It's gonna mean that he's gonna feel really good to casual players. That's basically something that's like pretty consistent across every character. The less a character is relying on their burst, the better they feel to casual players. Because not getting your burst off cooldown can be a fucking massive DPS loss for some units, but because skills don't rely on energy and you can just use them when the cooldown is over, you don't get punished as much for not having a right rotation when your damage comes from skills. So I really expect him to get a pretty good reception from the casual community.